I'm still working. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Oh. Okay. Yay. Okay, I need another. I don't want this one. Okay. Hello, hello. We had some problems. It doesn't. Did you connect to the Chris? We've been having some techie issues, so give us a second. I don't know. This looks strange. There's nothing here. Okay. Can you guys hear me? No, they can't hear me. All right. So. Oh, it's right here. Not muted, I don't think. Oh, let's see. Can you hear me now? He asked. Oh, okay. Oh, she said no. Yes. Okay. Thank you, honey. My hero. Woo! Always excitement. All right. So we had to do a whole reboot to my computer just to handle all this wealth vibe we're going to have. So, hi. Welcome, everybody. Akasha here, Nana Akasha. Good. I'm so glad. Hi, guys. Hi, Sherry and Brittany and Julian and Kim. Oh, you're so welcome. I love your dolphins and flamingos. My favorite things. Me too. Oh my gosh, it's been an incredibly magical day. So if you saw my email to the main list, I shared my day this morning. And I'm still just like this. I'm just, dolphins went by out front. We walked along the beach as they went. None of our pictures worked out because they blur up. It's hard to see them. And then the flamingo went by, and I found a bunch of shells that floated up to me, and it's Imbolc. So if you're not familiar with Imbolc, this is the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and it's sort of the start of spring, meaning that the sap is rising and the baby lambs are being born, and the Celtic celebration of Imbolc with the goddess Brigid. So the goddess Brigid is a fire goddess, is a triple goddess, is a water goddess, still waters, deep waters, like well waters. And I sent you guys a beautiful message from her. Hopefully, I think we did. And so we've got a lot of magic energy today, and I'm super excited about that because this is such a great topic for that. Okay, I gotta get present here. And wonderful. So you guys need a paper and pen because we're going to do something called Find the Money. And in the process, you're going to be changing a lot of beliefs, or you're going to be finding a lot of beliefs that it's good time to change. Okay? So let me clean my glasses so I can see you. And so I want you to do this process. I'm going to share a lot of information fairly quickly. I'm going to ask you to write some things down or let them come up. The key really is that finding money or finding resources or finding the way is what we're talking about. So when we say money, we're talking about anything of value, anything that is required for you to manifest what you really desire. And if it's desire based in your soul and your heart, then there's always a way. There's always a solution. There's many, many solutions. However, our beliefs and our mind and our conditioning have taught us to not see it, to not trust it, to not believe it. And we've been all programmed to be little sheeple, that act like slaves and we go to work when they tell us to go to work. We get paid what they tell us we're worth. We're afraid to, I'm not me, but a lot of people are afraid to take time off or to change their schedule or to tell their family, I'm going away without you or whatever it is. And so we're waking up and we can no longer hold these low vibrations of guilt, shame, fear, anger, victimhood, and they're heavily attached to the concept of money, the concept of your personal value, the concept of your worth. So in this exploration process, in the 4-day money intuition breakthrough that I did, you'll find right here on the channel as well, you will have an enormous amount of possibility to break through to your true potential, okay? That's what I really want for you. I want you to, you're looking for money or the way, the resource. Could be time. Maybe you don't really need money, but you need more time. Maybe you need childcare. Maybe you need help, energy, support. Maybe you need more physical health or energy to do something. Maybe you need more clarity. So there's a lot of things that you could attract, connect to right within you to manifest something. A long time ago during my divorce and my bankruptcy, I had literally nothing. I was so stressed out. I really wanted to go to the beach. I lived 2 hours from the beach. I didn't have any money to go to the beach, not even for the gas. And I kept saying, I want to manifest. And I was doing all my stuff of visualizing, manifesting money so that I can do X. Manifest money so I can do this. I can go to the beach. And then, whoop, my higher self slapped me upside the head one day and said, why are you keep asking for money? Why don't you just say, I want to go to the beach? And then someone called me, asked me to speak at the beach. I'd never asked before, just came right out of me. My higher self took over and said, I'll be glad to come and speak for you if you pay for the gas, the hotel, and the food. And that happened. Then they invited me back the next month. So in the middle of disaster of my divorce and my bankruptcy, literally having nothing and not knowing how to do it, I got to go to the beach fully paid twice, and I didn't need money. I mean, I guess I didn't need money. They gave me the money. But first, I had to clear that I needed the money, and then I will do what I want with it. So that's a tip for everything that you manifest. There's a lot of ways for things to manifest. So when we say find the money, you're looking for the money or the way, and you also have to be careful to judge the money. If you say, I want to manifest the money, but I want to make the money. I don't want my husband to make the money, or I don't want my mother to give me the money, or I don't want to use my credit card, then you're really trying to control this and you really don't want to find the money. You want to control where, when, how, because you're judging that money, all right? We're moving into a reality where we're not going to be doing this amount of work and hard work and slavery going on in order to have a life. There's going to be a universal income at some point because with AI, it's just, there just aren't going to be some jobs anymore. And it's not that everybody's going to be poor and dying. It's that we don't need it and that there's more than enough. Over 50% of over 50% of the wealth currently on the planet is owned by 1% of the population. Doesn't that seem a little bit of wackadoodle to you? Well, it's not, oh, those evil people, if you start going down that road, you're doomed. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to become a wealthy person because those beliefs are going to keep you from becoming what you consider wealthy. Also, wealthy doesn't mean you have to be a multimillionaire, all right? You don't have to be famous. If you have those desires, it's okay, but please find out if they're really in alignment with your soul blueprint. Because I have the life I absolutely love for a lot of reasons right now. I get up every day. I love my life. I love my life. Doesn't mean that I'm not manifesting more or that there's things I want to shift or change, but I'm not unsatisfied. I'm not jealous. I don't compare myself to anyone. And that's freedom. Financial freedom isn't having a lot of money in the bank. It isn't having a lot of stocks. Look what's happened recently. The stocks have plummeted. Even very wealthy people are going, oh my God. So you don't have control over your job or your pay or the stocks, but you do have control over yourself. You have control over your mind, even though you haven't really felt that way. And so there's a lot of steps in this concept that it could be about a 20-week course, to be honest. However, I want to give you this information because I used to do this with a lot of my clients. And it was always something like, I want to do your mastermind. and I don't know where to get the money, or I have part of the money, but I need the rest of the money. Or if there's something where you get a discount by having the full amount of money, but you really decide you have to do a payment plan, then you have to let go of anger or guilt or shame that you're paying a little bit more perhaps for that because you have a payment plan. I didn't learn the benefit of a payment plan until I was in that stage of my life where I lost everything. And then I was super, super grateful for a credit card. I was super grateful for a course that somebody offered that I could pay over time. So there is nothing wrong with any way that you receive money unless you kill people, okay? Don't do things that are not really good karma, okay? And that's what we see happen around money. So your goal is going to be something that you want right now, something you want in the next 2 to 4 weeks to start to practice with these concepts. I want you to have a piece of paper and we're going to dive in right now. Okay, good. Whoop, whoop. Me too. I love you, sweetie. I love you, Nana. You're speaking to my mind and the mind is connecting the message in my heart. Yay. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. A lot of this kind of info I dove into during my divorce. It was the reason why I kind of went, whoop, I need to figure out why everything keeps disappearing. Why no matter what I do, it's just like a drain. And when that's happening, your spirit is giving you your spirit is giving you some guidance. Your spirit is giving you an opportunity to see and to sense that you are if you're in a state of craving, it is the state of disappointment. It's the state of enslavement. So really, it's not that you have to give up wanting something. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Paris. Okay, you want to go to Paris? Great. You might go to Paris as a guide. I got invited. Hang on, I'm going to just switch my headphones. There, this should be way better. I got invited to go to Egypt with a tour group. And they invited me to go and be the spiritual guide to do activations in the temples and everything. And that's my thing. And I had already been there. And it was just stunning to me that this showed up. And I didn't pay to go. I got to go to Egypt and do spiritual work with a group of people. And I didn't get paid, but I didn't pay for it. All right. So there's all kinds of ways that you can manifest what you want, and the less attachment you have to it, or how soon you need it, or how it has to come, the more you open to the infinite field of possibilities. Okay? Getting my paper here. Ready? All right. So I'm going to share a couple of lovely manifesting statements that I wrote a long time ago in my book. So this is actually a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Lack of money is the root of all evil. So if you were raised with, or you heard the misinterpreted, misquoted thing from the Bible that says money is the root of all evil, it isn't. It's the love of money. Okay, and that you can see because we see greed on our planet, bad greed. I mean, I look at these companies who are like, but we have to make more money and we've been giving you this and we need to find a way to drain more money out of you because we have to keep having more profits and we have to keep pleasing the stockholders. All right, that's not in nature. Nature goes like this. All right, even big companies have ups and downs. And so greed is really the cause, I think, of most of the pain and fear. We kill, we take over, we go to war, we disown people, we have divorces and arguments with people because we have very different mindsets. So you most likely have a very different mindset than perhaps your friends or your spouse around money, and that can cause conflict. And we've really been coming out of the world where generally the man or the person who makes the money makes the rules, right? And yet, if everything is there and you don't want to work hard, you don't want to go to a corporate job at IBM. I certainly don't. I've worked for myself for over 30 some years. And if you have a desire that's outside of the norm and none of your family or your friends understand it and they think you're nuts and they keep telling you, go get a job, be responsible, when are you going to grow up or something, you can keep ignoring them, from my opinion. Now, you want to take care of yourself. You don't want to just sit on the couch and cry and say, why isn't there money showing up at my door? And then have all this fear inside of you that's making you like Teflon to money. You have to do the inner work. I'm sorry, that's just the facts. You have to shift the inner vibration to receiving worthily. So free your mind and the wealth will follow. Okay? So can you declare, I am already rich? It might trigger some things. I feel rich. I know I'm rich. I can see myself as rich. Now, for me, my vision of myself as rich, yes, it's nice money, but I've literally lived a large portion of my life with very little money, with no money, with up and down money. And all through it, I remember being like stressed. And yet at the same time, I was like, oh, look at, I have my Chris here. And that's the most important thing in the world, that I have my soulmate, and that money can't buy that. Okay. So I'm not here to tell you you don't deserve money, but I am here to tell you that part of the process at some point is going to be you completely changing your priorities and your values. Okay. All right, let's go. Screen-a-reen-a-reen-a-roo, and andole. Okay, here we go. So this is a masterclass that's called How to Find the Money and Change Beliefs. All right. And thank you for coming. If you're new to me, thank you so much. I'm super excited you're here. I am an intuitive channel, and I've spent decades searching for how do we create reality? How do we stop pain? How do we free ourselves from the family ideas of who we are? How do we discover who we are? What's underneath that? And it's led to shamans and mystery schools and all kinds of learning, and I want to share it with you. So Intuition Awakening is this year, the first one is starting Saturday. So if you want to find the money to come to that, the first thing to do is this process, but also reach out to me, because we may have a way of making that happen. Okay, so Money Intuition Awakening is on sale right now for another day or so in the shop.nanakasha.com. We've got a link below, and it's going to be an epic 7-week journey. It's a very concentrated journey, and there's almost 2 classes per week. And the reason for that, I really asked Spirit why, what, where, what's going on. And it was like, yes, because this money has so much volatility, I can promise you, even with this free class, you're going to have triggers. And I used to do this primarily, work with clients with money consciousness, money energy, money beliefs, money spirit, money blueprint. I did all the spiritual work, but it was focused on business and money and all of the places where they were afraid to ask for money, or they didn't know if they should charge enough or ask something, and so on and so forth. So I've seen it all. I built a huge library of beliefs around money that people have. And I created my first book called Already Rich. It's still on Amazon. And actually, I've been looking at it. It's pretty dang good. It's a little outdated just in the sense I don't speak the language this way anymore. And I would probably write it a little bit different, but it's a spiritual money attraction guide. So if you're interested, it's, I don't know, $10 or something. However, in Intuition Awakening, the point is to empower you, is to show you and give you ways to keep awakening to your inner voice and your senses. And what better way to use that intuition than to guide you to the opportunities, to the potential clients, to the riches that may be right there waiting for you. Maybe you have some money stashed away in a drawer that you've forgotten about. Maybe you've got I told this story last week, but maybe you have a credit card offer that you never opened or followed up on that actually is still valid. And they're like, yes, we'll give you the credit. Credit is a whole other thing. People get all bound up about the idea of debt and credit. Credit, oh, please, I want it. I want to buy the house or something. And then, ooh, I hate it. this is not good energy with something you want to be flowing in your life, something you want to be your friend. So I hope that we'll see you there. So I am super pleased that you feel called to this powerful intuition work. And I really want you, if you haven't, you don't think you have, I want you to say to yourself, I am ready and willing to find the money and whatever solutions you need to make it happen. And I'm going to help you. So here's the way it works. You follow a formula for the energies to align you to the solutions to your request. There's always an answer, there's always a solution, and there's always a way for you to make it happen. It's not possible for there to be no way out. Believe me, I've gone through this with a lot of clients. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking. So it depends on where you are. You may pop and tonight or tomorrow 3 clients, or you get a raise, or you get a bonus in the mail, or who knows what will happen. And those magical things do happen. Don't poo-poo them. Say, thank you for this. I love this. More of this, please. And keep affirming even the tiniest shift. Well, I don't feel fear today, or I feel more comfortable saying, hey, I need some money, okay? But I can tell you that one of the things is a decision. Your decision is what I call your magic wand. And in my experience working with others, there's a 99% chance that you will not manifest this goal if you do not make a full decision. So what does that look like? It looks like this. Oh, I really want to go on your dolphin retreat, but I don't know how. I don't have the money. I shouldn't spend it. My husband won't like me, whatever, whatever. Okay, do you feel a call from your heart? Okay, you do. Great. So if you go, well, I don't know, I'm not going to look into it. I'm not going to make plans. I'm not going to see what the airline schedule is. I'm not going to look up my costs. I'm just going to wait. And I'll wait until the money drops in my lap. And if it shows up, then I'll go do that. That is not a decision. And therefore, there's a 99% chance that it will not manifest. That's okay. If you don't mind, that's okay with me too. Your mind will not show you the solutions or the clients unless you make a real inner decision. But once you do, the magic begins to happen. And I think a lot of my clients could verify this, right? The idea that they decided to, I have this one beautiful, incredible client who contacted me before the certification class in the fall and said, I just know I'm meant to be there. I can tell in my soul that, and it keeps telling me, don't miss this opportunity, all right? And yet, blah, I have certain blocks to making this decision. But she was smart enough to take action, okay? So she didn't make a full decision, but she said, well, if I'm going to do this and I'm called to it and the spirit says it, there must be a way. And she reached out to me, and she was my second certification client, and she's already doing fairs and other people. So the thing is that once you do and the magic begins to happen, you're going to see the synchronicities, the ideas, you're going to become aware, because your goal will be trying to get to you through all your inner fears and doubts. So Joseph Campbell, wonderful, wonderful man. And he quoted, this is a very short version. I love the long version better. But once you decide, doors will open where there were once walls. And guides will show up, mentors will show up that are only there for you. And they're not there for anyone else. They're already encoded into your soul blueprint. Well, you know what? If she ever gets to this point and she wants to do that and she breaks out of her fear, this mentor will be there instantly, okay? So if you've had that experience, it's pretty good. So remember, whatever solutions pop up and you allow your conscious mind to become aware of will lead you to a deeper awareness. A door is going to open you didn't even notice before. At first, you may not see anything, or you might be like this client of mine who manifested 80% of her intended amount of money within hours of doing this process, all right? Then are you going to look at that as a failure or as, wow, that's awesome? 80% of what I wanted to manifest. And that's going to tell you a lot about if you're going to stay in the flow. If you're going to be like, well, this is stupid. I only got this much money and obviously this doesn't work and I'm not worthy, and you go down that road, now you're shutting the door. But you have to follow your bliss. That's the part of the Joseph Campbell quote that's key. Follow your bliss and doorways will open where there once were walls. So people have manifested anywhere from $800 to $10,000 and more to do all kinds of different things that I've worked with, way more than 10,000. I had a client who made, geez, I think she made 100,000 in a day, but that was a work thing, right? She knew she was going to do something. She was speaking, and we cleared that inner fear of, will it work? Will they do it? Will they want me? I don't know what to do. So she could show up and be fully present and fully receptive. So the connection between her and the clients, think about this. Money does not come from people. It does not come from your job. Those are conduits. Those are pipelines from the multiverse. Money comes through people, through a job, okay? Through all these different avenues. And you don't even know most of the avenues that are there. So she wanted to work with me. The fee was at that time $3,500. She had no credit, no cash. She felt lost and depressed about what to do about her situation. She wanted to move. She wanted to find a new direction for her career, and she felt alone. So she manifested, we went through this process, and she manifested $6,500 within 2 weeks. And she was only looking for the $3,500. And she took off in a whole new life adventure. She literally left where she was living. She felt so depressed. It was amazing, and went off to live a completely different life. And it isn't the money that made the difference. It was the freedom that made the difference. So any of these things can be reasons why, right, that you stop. Are you ready to be yourself and do valuable work, feel content, work, and live in a spiritually uplifting and nurturing environment? Are you ready to accept being seen and appreciated and valued? Is your business or your career or your soul contribution already designed? It is. So your Akasha already has your business or your career. And if you are doing a business or you have a business, it has its own life. It has its own soul blueprint. It has its own Akashic records. So you have the means and the talents and the resources to manifest it. The business wants to manifest in the world. If you are a perfect match, the belief and the confidence is going to come in. But the how is going to trip you up. So if you're beginning to realize your business has a sole purpose and your talents have a venue for expression, and you get to provide value to others to bring value, money, and other things to you for the life of joy and accomplishment you seek, then you're starting to get it. Most people, we've been so conditioned into the 3D world to think there's nothing else out there that affects it. And you don't know until you get on the path what potholes are there to sabotage you. So we've kind of come from a mindset of looking for our problems and believing we're damaged and believing we're not good enough and believing we have to fix ourselves. Do we have a lot of beliefs that don't serve us? Yes. However, just start going towards what you want and you will run into those fears. So whether you want more income, you want to start a business, you want to go on a trip, you want to live more comfortably, you want to help your children, whatever it is, you are designed for it. And if you listen to your inner voice, then you'll know how to get on that path, okay? Now, what's the biggest block? Your mind, your beliefs, and your fears. Essentially, your past, telling you there's no way. The solution? You must open your mind to new possibilities that you couldn't imagine, or that maybe you're afraid to imagine. Maybe it triggers emotion or fear that you'll be somehow criticized or lose something, or people won't like you. This is a common thing. And once you walk through it, you get to raise your energy to be able to see and receive these possible things or the blocks that are there. So I've done this process for hundreds of clients. It's not a magic pill. I can't predict your outcomes. Each person faces their own current situation, but I can offer you the truth that I see, and I can help you navigate. And the reason for Money Intuition is because something's happening in the world right now where we have to not just do our spiritual work, we need to start marrying our higher work with our body. We have to stop hating our body, we have to love our body and get it together, okay? So if you have to face your fears, okay? And you have to follow through on the answers you get. If you get, well, call Joe and ask mom and, do this and do that, and you just go, oh, I don't want to do that, then it's not going to work out, Okay. So I'm here to guide you. And this is a very powerful process, but you then have to take the solution, listen, ask, and act every day, which is why keep tuning your intuition and your senses to the biggest and the best things instead of the fear, the past, and the pain. So find the money process to see what you seek. Now, I think I talked about this last week, but there's this thing I started doing a long time ago called, there it is. I realized as I was learning mindset, hypnosis, studying shamanism, becoming a homeopathic doctor, doing all these things that led me to understand everything is vibration, everything is energy. What's underneath that? What's underneath that? How is this vibration affecting that? And I realized here's a very important tip. If you haven't heard me say this before, you need to start doing this. When you want to manifest something, whether it's money or a trip, you need to visualize the end, okay? Visualize having it. Visualize flying home from the retreat or being at the retreat instead of, I don't know how I'm going to get to the retreat. Okay. Do you see the difference? It's like the fly, bang, bang, bang against the window till it dies because it doesn't turn around and fly out the open door on the other side of the room. So you want to be in that. So anything you want to find, even something like car keys, a lost book, an earring, your car in a parking lot, you can do the there it is process for finding anything. So this is the first thing I want to give you because you can look for solutions to time, childcare, transportation, money, who to hire, energy, clients, friends, ideas, connections, jobs, even the constant messages that come from your higher self and other realms. What do you do when you're there? When you find your keys, you're looking, where are my keys? I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. Well, the first thing to do is stop saying, I don't know. Because you keep telling your mind, don't let me know, don't let me know, I don't know. You're in charge. You're the creator of your reality. And there's nothing else that your inner higher self can do if you're saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I can't, I can't, I can't. So if you're stopping at, oh, I love that, I would love to do that, I would love to have that, I'd love to be that, but I can't. Because I'll tell you the first thing that comes up is money. And people don't even walk into the decision or the option or the opportunity far enough to get into, do I really want this? Is it a hard thing? Yeah, it really is. Wow, well, then there must be a path. Let's look for it. Most people just shut the book and walk away. Oh, well, I can't do that. Then you're letting the old lack programs and the mindset control you and what you do and what you decide and what you choose and what you see and what you manifest and what you receive and how you live. So this past, this or any other life of fear and limitation does not determine the future ever, except if you focus on it. If you keep saying, oh, well, I lost all that money and then I got money, but then I didn't manage it well, or, I used to have a job I made much, but I'm really not qualified anymore, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not making fun of your situation. I've been through it all and I've seen it all and I understand how hard it is, but I want you to start to get, it's time for us to just stop listening to these stupid programs. Oh my God. Well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, shut up. Right? So those programs are in charge. So unless you believe that it does and you act, think, and choose that way, it can't control you. So let's do this. Get your pen and start thinking, what is your lack mind telling you? Okay, before we dive into our finding process, I want you to think about this. I can't have what I really want because, so write that down. I can't have what I want. And it's great because for this process, I want you to pick something you want, and we'll go into later why you want it and things like that. So maybe these are just ideas that my clients have had and maybe I've had at some point. So I'm just sharing this to trigger and help you find yours. I shouldn't spend the money. I shouldn't use the credit card. I should save it. I should spend it on others. I should keep it for my kids. I should. Now, I'm not telling you to go crazy and spend all your money and get a lot of credit and let your kids starve, okay? Let's be reasonable here. But what I see is most people do not spend on themselves, or if they do it with guilt and doubt, and then they have buyer's remorse, and then they freak out, and then they judge themselves, and that's not a state to make anything work. So you might as well just stayed in that space and never even done it, right? So they never will. Others will never, ever, ever agree with you. And you might. Maybe you're lucky. I work with a client yesterday whose husband's had a 180-degree switch. Their relationship is quite stunning. She followed my advice and she said, okay, you want a divorce? Fine, I'm leaving. And she packed up and she found a place and everything. And then he changed and it's stuck and things are changing, but it's not common. Okay. So you can't wait for other people to agree with you. Now, if you're in a partnership, like a marriage, then I very much understand that unless you make your own money and they make their own money and you do whatever you want with your money, then there's going to be some conflict. So please don't create conflict and then say, I told you to do it, okay? However, what I do know is that you most likely don't value yourself, you most likely don't ask for yourself, and you believe that you have to do everything for everyone else and you don't deserve. If you have your own business, you probably have the syndrome of, oh, I can't ever take time off because I didn't make enough money, I didn't fill this class yet, I didn't get the million clients. There's never an end. And then what? You're never taking a break, you're never going on vacation, you're never reading a book, you're never walking on the beach, and then your life is over. And your soul did not come here to make a shit ton of money unless that is really a big part of your purpose. But you did come here with the ability to have what you need, what you require. So other thoughts might be, who will watch the kids if I go to this concert? Or how do I find my optimal clients? Or how do I locate the resources, the help, the money to start a business or make a movie or create a movement? I've had a lot of clients that wrote movies and plays and very, very fascinating, that manifestation process. So they can't do it themselves, right? They have to find other people who are experts at making a movie or distributing it or getting the play distributed across the country. So there is a co-creative process that happens. And so finding the money involves having co-creative relationships. So what you really need is who has that expertise and who is optimal for me to work with, that kind of thing. So walk around intending to be in the moment that you find the thing you're looking for. There it is. Okay, there it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now, it sounds silly, but I want you to try this out and walk around the house going, there it is, 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 there it is. You are literally telling your mind over and over, and you are visualizing while you're saying it, finding whatever it is. If it's your car keys, pretty practical, not a lot of emotion attached to it, maybe some anger. I gotta be somewhere. Where are my car keys? However, when it comes to money, there's a whole other story going on inside of you. It's a story saying, wow, of course I can't find the money and I never get what I want and all that other bullshit. So saying there it is around abstract things, okay, can be very powerful. I used to teach this to my clients. They'd be like, okay, this one client wanted to join my mastermind. She wanted to pay in full to get the discount. And she was the one that walked around the room saying, there it is, 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 in her house. She didn't have stashes of cash in her house, but the guidance, that's why this is an intuition process, because you're walking around and you only can see red. Let's just say you can only see red and you really need something that's blue, but you can't see it because you're built that way. So you need to now trust the higher self to say, show me blue. I need some blue. Wherever is that blue? And then you say, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. And suddenly, pop, something's going to happen. You're going to feel drawn to a magazine or to a book or to your phone, or you're going to turn on the TV and see something. And she happened to have moved into her house about 5 years ago. She kept being drawn to a bookshelf. She thought it was a book. She looked at the books. There wasn't anything really intriguing there, but she found an old credit card offer underneath the books, 5 years old. And at first she dismissed it. Then she went, wait a minute. If money comes through many different ways, and this is the way that the universe is supporting me right now, and she called them up and they said yes, and it was exactly the amount of money she needed. So again, if you've got the mind saying, well, I don't want any more credit, okay, that's fine. You can always say no, but the universe is going to show you the way that you can see. And if you are at a place where you only believe that and you realize that credit is a gift from the universe, it's no different than money. Your money's all virtual anyway, mostly. You see little numbers on a screen nowadays. You have a credit card. You don't even in the US, I don't think people carry cash anymore. Here in Mexico, it's a big cash culture. So now other things you might think are last time, and you got to just fill in the blank. Last time I bought a course, I didn't get the value. I didn't complete it. I didn't get my money's worth. I got in a fight with my spouse. I regretted it. I felt guilty. I needed the money for something else, so I shouldn't do it again. Okay? So this is often a common thing where you start judging yourself and beating yourself up. And the idea of getting your value is a very interesting thing. Well, I didn't get my value. It is something that, wow, that's a deep well. Let's just put that there. My partner or my family or my banker, my teacher, my kids or my friends or my boss won't like it. Well, maybe it'll cause an argument and you want to avoid that confrontation. I know I was married for 25 years and it was extremely stressful. We had a very different beliefs around money, and that was really underneath it. It's one of the big reasons of the divorce. So maybe you're used to validating yourself. Oh, well, I really want to do this course and it's going to really help because, and then I'll be better and you'll be better and everybody will be happy. And I'm not telling you that, again, in a partnership, there's anything wrong with sharing with that person why this is a value to do, why it means something to you. That's different than trying to prove that you're good enough, that you deserve it, that it's okay to have it. And this is where we get tied up with other people's ideas of what we deserve or not. This is a really common one. My ex did this to me during my divorce. I'd say, trying to think of an example. Could we do this on a different date? Or could I have the kids for this weekend instead of the next weekend or something like that? Why? Well, I was coming out of people pleasing everybody. So my immediate thing was, oh, well, because I really want that, and I really want this, and it'll be really good, and the kids will like it, and please, and da-da-da-da-da. And again, if this is a partner that you feel safe with, then yes, have that conversation. Say, guess what, honey? Look at what I've got going on. This is going to be so amazing. Thank you for supporting me. I know this is good. What do you think? Do you have any ideas? This is great. But if it's somebody that doesn't, that you have a history of always saying you can't, you don't, then it's probably not a good person to talk to about it, right? So watch out for explaining, validating, trying to win someone else's approval or agreement or understanding, because no one sees things the way you do. And as you wake up intuitionally, spiritually, you're going to have a lot of people not like it. Just know that. It's not that they're bad and that you necessarily have to leave them. It's just that they don't understand what's happening for you. They don't know you're waking up. And I didn't know what to say. I saw 7 nights in a row this infomercial about real estate investing, and I'd never thought of it in my life. And I thought, I didn't know what it was. And I was told as a child, infomercials are spam and you never buy anything from TV. So I just laughed at it. But by the end of it, I bought a $5,000 course. And my husband was so upset with me, he didn't speak to me for 2 months. We had 2 babies. We had twin babies, and we're functioning like this and that. And he wasn't speaking to me literally for 2 months. After 2 months, I did the courses. I listened to it nonstop. I went to an event. I came back. I started to apply it. I ended up buying 5 houses in 1 week. And I flipped one. It's a long story, but I flipped one to somebody else in 2 weeks and made $10,000. So I bought it for $5,000. 2 months later, I made $10,000. So now I'm $5,000 up. I drove over with my $10,000 check to his work, and I contacted him. I don't know how, because there weren't cell phones, I don't think. And I said, come downstairs. I want to show you something. And he came downstairs and he got in the car, and I showed him the check, and I went like this. Now, I'm not telling you to treat your partner like that. However, considering what was going on, he still didn't talk to me for 2 more days. And then when he did, I said, seriously, this made no difference. And he goes, well, it helps. And then he started to speak to me and so on and so forth. What happened in those 2 months? I had to make a decision every single day. This is the man I love. This is the father of my children. This is my life. He's so upset with me. He's not speaking to me. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I would check in with spirit, and they're like, nah, this is your soul path. You got to do it. So I had to say, I don't know why. I just know I'm meant to do it. And over the next 8 years, I made a lot of money. I had tons of spiritual growth. epic amounts of experience with money, lots of money, big money, buying money and houses and all kinds of wonderful things. It was definitely the best path for me. So don't argue for your limitations. What does that mean? Well, I can't, I shouldn't, I didn't. Do not fight for your lack. Do not accept your unworthiness ever. All right? So the truth is everything you need to manifest what is optimal for your soul at this time, not necessarily for your ego, mind, and cravings, is already here. And I want to keep emphasizing that because it's very easy for people to say, oh, money, I'm so desperate. I need money, I'm desperate. You got to get out of desperation because desperate energy is bad. That's what causes people to kill, to divorce, to lie, to steal, to cheat, to think that they can do whatever they want. Well, but I was desperate. Well, stop being desperate. You got to pull yourself out of that state because that doesn't work for anybody. Everything exists right now. Your past and your future lives, they're all here. Your potential happiness and wealth, your potential sadness and poverty, it's all here. And you can tune into any one of those. So if you accept that premise, already here, fully funded, infinitely supported, even with inner doubts screaming at you, and you suspend your disbelief, like when you watch a movie or a fantasy story, you suspend your disbelief. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. Then a solution of some kind, if not multiple solutions that are already there, will begin to find you and try to get your attention. Now, trying to get your attention, that means, are you listening? Are you taking time to yourself? Are you rushing and running and always too busy for everything? People busy. I've been busy, I get it. But holy hell, you're the one in the center of your life. If you don't start to bring calm to your life, take things step by step, organize things in a way where you say, well, I have to do my meditation in the morning and I have to do my light body activation. I'm just not willing to go into my day without it. Maybe you're into astrology and you say, oh my gosh, I'm not going to go do this afternoon because that energy means that I'm going to be blocked and there's going to be closures and there's going to be all this stuff. Why would I go do that? I have an astrology friend who got invited to speak for a big company about astrology, and they have a regular time for their meeting. I don't know what it is, let's say 10 a.m. on Mondays. And she looked at that date because she's an astrologer, and she said, you know, it's a really bad date. And they said, I don't care. And so she said, well, I'm just warning you up front. We may have some techie issues. There may be some problems with the internet, but we'll go ahead and give it a try if you really want to. And guess what? The internet was so cut off that it cut off her phone and her computer, and they ended up having to reschedule anyway. So the idea of just shoving ourselves forward in our life because everybody else has a structure and a plan, I don't care anymore. I care about my life, I care about my clients, and I care about staying in my flow because that's how I contribute to the world with the biggest, most positive vibration. But if you're steeped in fear voices and lack mindsets, distracting you and loudly convincing you you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, then you'll not see or hear or notice or believe that message that's coming. You're going to just brush by it. You're not going to notice it at all. You're only going to see the blocks and you're going to believe you can't. So you're going to be the fly hitting itself head against the window because you think that's the way out, but it isn't when there's a million other possibilities behind you. So don't ask anyone else when you're doing this process, please, except me or your fellow students if you come to the Intuition Awakening or if you've been with the Intuition Awakening and you're connected with the other students, people that are on this path that you know will not drag you down, poo-poo you, criticize you, limit you. Okay? Because you want people on the path of reclaiming their powers of creation and manifestation and intuition. The key to finding the money is you must tune into that potential future you's energy signature. You do not have to fully and completely change all your beliefs and become perfect before you can communicate with your entire light body and your intuitive team. They're going to always be trying to leave you a trail to follow. They're always. And here's the thing, as you wake up, as your intuition starts to fine-tune, get cleared, get realigned, get upgraded, you're going to be getting visions instead of just like, I think, I have a feeling this might be good for me. All right? But you start with, I think I have a feeling. And then you take that step because it's like moving into a house that has no electricity and you're using lamps and whatever, right? And then you get somebody to come in and wire the house. And you're like, okay, here we go. But it's not hooked up to the electric company or solar panels. All right. And then you say, oh my gosh. So you want to really stop and listen to that inner fear. It's not safe. That part of you that commonly uses that technique as another way to block you from seeing the money. Oh, it's not safe. You didn't do it right. It's going to take a long time. That's another big illusion that we've been fed. Oh, it takes a long time. It takes a really long time. You got to pay your dues. You better go do that now. You got to do it the way that we think you should do it. Well, I'm sorry, but all the old ways of doing stuff is just, they're falling apart. So I'm not sure that's a good idea. And we have Saturn in Pisces soon, and that's starting already. And what does that mean? That means that structure and infrastructure is going to start dissolving. So if you're not willing to keep asking and demanding and listening and looking and then following the nudges and synchronicities and messages and vibration and beliefs, all these signals, then you will prove your inner doubt voice right. You're going to not receive the guidance that you're trying to get to. So the future and higher you that you are contacting and aligning with bit by bit is already wealthy, healthy, and happy. That you who has the money or knows she can find the money, so she doesn't even care if she has the money. I tell you, that's a bigger secret that I learned, was not to decide how happy or safe I feel based on the numbers I see in my bank account or based on the paycheck that I think is coming to me, okay? So in the Intuition Awakening, we're tackling the poisons in you around that kind of thing, and the fear voices and the guards and the guardians in there saying no and yes, and all these different things. So you keep opening your connection to the guidance that can flow you right there. All right. So you're really asking your higher self, your intuitive network, to attune you to the optimal future you that already knows, I can find the money if I need it. It's okay. So I just walk through the day and I trust and I watch and I'm in the present moment, which is infinitely rich and opulent. And whatever's required, whether it's time, energy, help, money, to move you towards the reality that your heart is calling you to. If you're in desperation, you're probably not going towards the goal that's optimal for you. You're going towards a fear-based goal, which is, well, when I have enough money, then I'll feel good. And I went through this with several clients, and in a very deep way, they said, I noticed that I'm only happy when I have money, when there's money in my bank account, or I know that money's coming. And when I don't feel like I have enough, then I'm not happy. And that means that your happiness is tied to this abstract thing. That is just not good. Do you really want to enslave yourself to that? So my partner, Chris, did this too, focused on be happy no matter what, be happy no matter what. And that was several people's path to detaching from this hold that money had on them. So that makes that part of you, even though that part of you is a wave of potential in your field, an expert on what she's doing, what she's thinking, what she's feeling, what she's deciding and listening to and believing. The future you that has already found the money knows what she did, and she's feeling worthy of it, and she can help you. So your optimal future self knows everything about living and experiencing a different reality in the state of happy richness and fulfillment. So clearly a future wealthy, happy you has a different set of beliefs, a different emotional feeling about self-worthiness, self-value, self-love, about abundance, about money and how money is made or attracted or received or kept or grown or spent. So your future you that already has the business, trusts the flow, knows the solutions are always here, has a vibration, and it's one that you can attune to. So you, the you here in the 3D now, stuck in the lack or shifting into a new state of alignment with your abundant potential, knows that your inner frequency must begin to match the solution or the future you. And if you are to truly change your life and your feelings, your health, your wealth, and your perspective, your doubt and your fear may block you from seeing it. But you don't get mad at the doubt and the fear, because then you get dragged down the scale into anger or into lack or into blame. So this is like a dance with yourself. Oh God, there's that again. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to judge that part of me. I'm going to come back to center and just say, oh, thank you for showing me that you're here. So your doubt and your fear, they're very good. All these inner programs of what you believe about yourself, about money, about your worthiness and your deservingness and how it's made, those decide what you make. Those decide what you see. Those decide what you allow to come to you. And I had this client who would bring home boxes of cash, so much money from his nightclubs. But he knew that he had a pattern, which we found was based in his childhood, that he would get rid of it if he knew it. So he'd give it to his wife. He'd say, don't tell me how much there is. She'd count it and put it in the bank. And then if he just happened to see the bank account and see that he had all this money, oh, wow, all of a sudden things would start happening and he'd spend it all. And we found out by doing the inner work that I do that he didn't even know this. He thought his family, his dad, was not very well off. And he thought that his dad's brother was extremely wealthy. And he found out that his dad was the one that was wealthy. But his dad had this fear of money and gave it all to his brother and let his family live in suffering and lack because he had this inner fear of having a lot of money. Now, I know, and I've seen a million times, that there are other lives you have that had something happen to them when you found the money and you did what you wanted. Somebody took it or attacked you or criticized you or something happened. And then that created this block in your soul that you brought into this life. And so once he was able to free himself from unknown reasons that were getting rid of the money and realize, oh my gosh, my dad had this issue and I didn't even know that because he had beliefs that other people have money, but I don't. My family doesn't have money, but my brother's family, my uncle's family does. And then he found out the opposite was true. That'll whack you out. So, there's a lot going on, all right? Sometimes people might not even want to be willing to do a process like this because the inner voices and feelings say all these different things, right? It won't work, and I've done this before. Oh, that's the one I really love. I've done this before. I did your thing once, and it's not working. I was like, wow, there's a way to follow up and stay true to your path and walk through the things that are trying to stop you because it isn't me. So I don't want to be disappointed. Massive. I used to have a business mastermind. It was called a Money Manifestation Mastermind. And we were going around the table and everybody was talking about their fears and what they wanted. And all of a sudden, I realized that almost everybody used the word disappointment. And they were like, well, I don't want to be disappointed, or I'm so tired of being disappointed, I just can't even bring myself to do anything anymore. And if you look at the scale of vibrational consciousness, it's free in the shop.nanakasha.com. You'll see disappointment is in the addiction desire state, and your emotional body is constantly craving. It has unfulfilled desires. It feels like it never gets, it can't have, it won't have. And your mind goes into disappointment. It's just nonstop. That's the enslavement. That's where you're living in enslavement. So money only comes from a job. That's another belief. That's bullshit. Or a long time slaving away and working hard. Or this seems too easy. So be careful. There's a lot of get-rich-quick schemes out there for sure. Okay. So now I want you to... Oh, okay. I thought my microphone fell. So now I want you to think about what is the goal you're going to use for this little process. This isn't the $1 million you want to make, or even the $50,000 you want to make, or even the first 10 clients you want to hire you. This is your practice, okay? So when your heart calls you to a desire or a want, there's a lot of conversation around the word want. I want. Well, if you're looking at it from that craving perspective, then you are focused on the fact you don't have it. But you can have a soul desire. And that soul desire might be, got clear guidance from my higher self. I want to align with my fully funded mission and live in peace and calm and walk every day, trusting and knowing whatever I need will be there. And the more I'm attuned to that, the more it will be there, the less I will have the struggles and the fear and the lack. So how do you find the money is another thing that stops people. But here's how we're going to find the money or any resource, okay? So for an example, I'm going to use one of my events. I've got a dolphin retreat coming in March, and it's very common for people to contact me for retreats. I'm also going to be doing the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp at my house here on the beach sometime in August. And maybe you want to come to that. Maybe you want to do the money intuition class, okay? So I'm going to use the Dolphin Mayan retreat in March just as an example, all right? But I want you to pick yours, okay? So here's how it works. Number one, you're going to decide. Well, number one, you're going to write down what it is, okay? What's your goal? So I'm going to use the retreat. Okay, I really want to go on this dolphin retreat, but I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to find the money to fly there. I don't know if I'll get time off of my job. I don't know if my partner, my family, my friends, or whoever are going to be okay with it. I don't know whether I should spend the money. I don't know if I should put it on a credit card or not. And whatever comes up, all right? So you must decide completely in your heart that you're going to do the goal. You got to write it down, and then you have to listen to the fears that come up, accept them, and write it down anyway. Decision's your magic wand, and it's something you make after you've removed everything else from your mind and emotions, all right? So first I want to go into this. So if you say to yourself, this is what I did. My kids were very tiny. I wasn't working. I was the sole person really taking care of them. And I found out about my second mystery school that I went to, but this was a live one that I went to. And I was so taken with it, I mean, my whole soul was just bursting like, oh my gosh. It was called the Melchizedek Method. I'm a Melchizedek master, a Kamadam master, and a Gayadam master. And I've also been through Drunvalo Melchizedek's workshop. So at the time, I was like, I want to do this, but I can't even take an hour off. I have 2 babies. It's like, how would that work? And it was $300. And I was like, I don't know how to come up with $300. We weren't poor, okay? But I did have a husband who was like, did not like spending money on anything, all right? So I was one of those people that immediately ran into, oh, I can't. And if you run into you can't, and you don't go further into the decision to feel into it, because you might go into it further and go, oh, no, that's really actually not the best thing for my soul. Okay, cool. But I went, I don't know how, but I really feel like this is what my soul is calling me to. Don't know how. Now, that's the initial thing. You surrender the control. You don't keep saying, I don't know, because then that's going to keep telling your mind to not let you know. But initially, you let it go, all right? And that's part of the decision. All right, well, I'm going to do this. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to trust my higher self, and I'm sure it's going to unfold, and I'm going to be the one who's visualizing it and thinking about it and listening for the synchronicities and looking for the solutions and allowing my mind to expand, all right? So then you're going to anchor that, and you're going to activate your decision into the physical realm. If you want your powerful subconscious mind and the field of the infinite possibilities to come help you with this, you must take now the abstract choice and the actions. So the choice I just told you about, that's the decision. I'm not going to say, well, I'll do it if. And again, if you don't end up manifesting, let's say you want to do this and you don't end up going to the dolphin retreat, that is not a reason to get down on yourself and get disappointed. It'd be like, wow, I really gave that a shot. I had a client who almost made it. She literally was calling me the day before. I'm almost there. I think I'm going to buy my ticket today. I'm thinking I'm going to get there. She didn't make it, but she was working it up to that moment, and her husband got very ill. This is another way that things stop us is illness and stuff. So that's the abstract choice. And then you take actions in the physical and other realms to begin to manifest, okay? Remember, manifesting means to make visible or apparent to you, to your senses. So you take the decision, and in order to access its power, you have to anchor it in the physical. How do you do that? Well, let's say I want to go on the dolphin retreat. I wonder, how would that work? Well, let me see. I'm going to go look at the shop page. Okay, it says fly into Cancun. All right, let me go ahead and just go to kayak and I'll start looking at, well, how much would it be to fly into Cancun? And what dates would I need to go? Okay, these are the dates. I have to go day before and day after. Okay. And then I look at my calendar and say, okay, well, what else would I have to do? I would have to ask for time off from work and I have to get the tickets and and this is how you start to anchor it into the physical. You don't just leave it floating out there saying, well, if somebody shows up and gives me the money, I'll go. Okay. And a lot of times my clients come here and somebody gave them the money stunningly. One day, a client told me that her best friend wanted to go on a trip with her, but didn't have the money. And she was visiting and she was sad, but she was like, oh, well. And then her husband drove her friend to the airport and to leave, to go back to wherever she was from. And on the trip, he didn't tell her, the wife, he gave the girlfriend $800 and said, you make it happen and surprise my wife or your friend. I've had fathers step up and give money for retreats. I've had, it just is absolutely stunning what's happened. I had a client who judged the money. He was a banker and he didn't want that money to be given to him. He thought if you don't stress out and work really hard, whether it's stress at a banking job or stress in the fields working hard physically, he rejected the money. And once we cleared that, I could see that there was money waiting for him in his field. And once it cleared, he discovered his grandfather had left him a lot of money and his parents hadn't told him. And he had to then take steps in the physical world and decide, oh, okay, it's okay for me to have that money, because his belief was if you're given money, right? So then his inner self was keeping him from even knowing it, because the belief he carried was if someone gives me money, it's bad money. So why would your soul tell you about bad money if you do that? So let's look at how you define money. All right. So I want you to take your pen and I want you to just do this really fast, really quick. How do you define money? What is it to you? Now, write this from your real self, not your enlightened perspective. I love money. Money is wonderful. Money is good for everybody. There's more than enough money. I'm a multimillionaire. Okay, whatever. I want you to write this from that core part of you, okay, that says money is evil. The fact that I have to have money takes my husband away from me every day. He has to work 2 jobs and it's not fair. Or it's not fair, those people have more money. Or I had money and I lost it and it's not, whatever, okay? So what does money mean to you? Okay? I'll share with you a few of the things that came through for me. Money is freedom. Money is resources. Money is possibility. Money is a gift. And money is a joyful tool to increase anything. Now, I didn't have a lot of the fear come up because I've done this for a long time. All right. And not that I don't have fear ever. However, I've cleansed and cleared it. So that is actually what, and I was surprised. I thought, well, this is interesting. I haven't done this process in a while. I wonder what was going to come through. If I had done this during my divorce, I would have said money is scarce. I would have said money is hard. Money doesn't love me. I definitely would have said that. Other people have money. I'm good at making money, but I can't keep money. Those would have been the things that came up. All right. So that's how you feel about it on a day-to-day basis. All right. So now I want you to pick that number. If you have already, great. So pick the number you want to manifest in the next 2 to 4 weeks. I want there to be a sense of urgency so you can prove this to yourself. I don't care if you manifest $1. I don't care if you manifest free lunches for a week. I don't care what you want to do. I did that. I manifested free lunches. I was going through my divorce. I had nothing. I was blocked from being able to sell my properties and collect money. and I was having business lunches a lot. And typically people would invite, say, let's go to lunch. I'd go, I'd pay for myself. And so I couldn't. And so what I did was I started to say, I would like to go on these lunches because they're full of potential and deals and opportunities, right? So, however, I need for free lunches to manifest. And the first few times I did it, I was terrified because I really couldn't have paid for the lunch. And I went and I didn't say anything and I didn't ask them to do it. And they said, oh no, let me get that. Let me pay for that. And it started happening over and over and over. Okay, so I want you to have a high sense of urgency. I want you to pick something that's emotionally charged. So if you're like, oh, well, it'd be nice to have some money so that I could, go to Starbucks every day. That doesn't have enough value to you that you're going to push past your fears for it. The reason that you go, oh, I really want that. Then if a soul want, not an ego want, then you go, oh my gosh, oh, that would be amazing. This would be so good. I could go and I get to kiss a dolphin and I get to meditate and float with the dolphins and they're going to be healing me and I'm going to sit on a pyramid at dawn on the equinox and activate and I'm going to have Atlantean healing energy and oh my gosh, this dolphin retreat's going to be amazing. Oh, I really wish I could go. Okay. I want you to have passion. Okay. Okay. If you have that down, what? And I want you to do two things. Like I told you, I want you to say what it is, and I want you to say the money. Okay, I need $2. No, I want $10 is fine if you really want to manifest $10. I don't want you to be super stressed, okay? So let's take the dolphin retreat again. It's a $500 deposit to get your space in there. And if you contacted me personally and we got on the phone and we talked and you said, I know I'm meant to be there. I just know I'm meant to be there. I'm having dreams. The dolphins are coming to me. I don't know what to do. I can't figure it out. I'm so afraid I can't make it. Then I would tell you to do this process. I would give you some other tips. I would look at your energy field, of course. And I would also tell you, put money down. Now, you're going to say, well, sure, you'd say that because you're talking about your retreat. Okay, let's take something else that has nothing to do with me because I don't care. Okay, pick something else. Okay, let's say you want to go to Paris. What a lovely idea. I really want to go to Paris. Well, you got to go do those things we talked about. I'm going to Paris. I don't know when and I don't know how. And then you're going to go anchor it into the physical. I'm making that decision and I'm opening it up to my higher self and my team. And if you take my intuition class or the future Co-Create with Your Future You class or these other classes, you're going to learn how to do this in more depth. But you're like, okay, let me talk to my team. I say, I can see myself in Paris and I'm going to watch videos of Paris before I go to sleep and I'm going to dream of Paris. I'm going to watch movies where people are in Paris and I'm going to go underneath it. Why do I want to go to Paris? Why do you want to work with me? Or why do you want to go to the retreat? Or why do you want to buy a new home? Or why do you want to pay the rent? Sounds stupid. Why do you want to pay the rent? Well, I want to pay the rent so I don't have to move. I don't get evicted. Okay. However, what's under that? Why do you want to buy a new car? Why do you want to go to Paris? Why do you want the money? Go deeper and be real with yourself. Okay. We have a tendency to not let ourselves want what we want, to feel the passion for it because it's like, oh, but what if I don't get it? Well, what if you do get it? Okay. So that's where we have to say thank you to that voice and tell them to go wait outside and play in the playground while we're doing this work. So if you come and you say that, if you say you want to go to Paris to me and you want me to help you manifest going to Paris, I'm going to tell you to do all the research, to look at where you might stay, to look at home exchanges. We used to do home exchanges. It saved thousands of dollars. We went to Paris several times for a month at a time on a home exchange. They went to my house. I went to their house. No cost for accommodations. This is why I'm telling you what you want. There's a lot of ways to make it happen. Okay. So I had somebody who came to my very first Dolphin Mayan retreat. He called me up and he's like, I don't make very much money and I'm just know the dolphins are calling me and I feel it with every part of my being and I just know how to do it. We did a little work. He went off and the next thing you know, his friend, his very, very dear friend said, I want to go too. I'll pay for both of us. And then he called me up and said, well, my friend wants to pay for us, but I don't want her to pay for me. And then he went into all these reasons why he shouldn't and couldn't and won't accept that money. And I said, well, there's your real opportunity. Coming to the retreat, yes, you're going to have an epic time, and he did. But your real block you found is that you don't want someone to give you money. You don't want the universe to find a way for you to have the money. You're judging the money, right? Okay? So why do you want it? If you came on my retreat or if you went to Paris, what would happen? Write it down. Now you have an opportunity now with this why do you want it to really excavate. So you may have to come back and do this later because we can't stay here all night, but this is where you're going to find some very interesting things. You might go, well, why do I want to buy a home? Well, I want to own my home, and I want to feel safe there, and I want to be able to decorate the way I want, and I want to feel, I want to, help the land, and I want to love. Well, this is going to help you clarify some of your more spiritual, deeper heart reasons for wanting it. Because I don't want you to go for goals that aren't in alignment with your highest good. Okay? All right. Now, your inner programs are blocking that voice. We've talked about that. Your intuitive team, your higher self, your multiverse. And they're blocking the true inner authority of your own. And you must decide to listen to the higher knowing, not the fear voices. Okay? So focus. The next thing is focus. And you have to let go of multitasking because it's actually a tool of death. It's a tool of the subconscious to keep you foggy, to keep you from really making progress, from hearing that synchronicity and watching that stupid infomercial 7 nights in a row, one little bit of it until you kind of got the whole concept and you went, why do I want this? This is not right. I'm going to go call them up anyway. Okay? To keep you from making progress, from focusing on your energy on one specific thing for a period of time. And it's a scientifically proven thing. So if you want, you can look up all kinds of things, but if you can hold a singular focus for a very short amount of time, you're going to start to manifest it because you're holding a clear signal for what you want, not for why you can't have it. So you're charging up with the faith and the passion and the image and the power, and I'm going to kiss a dolphin and I'm going to eat Yucatecan food, and I'm going to have a Coco Frio, and I'm going to swim in the clear blue waters, and oh, it's going to feel so good. So that clear signal that you're holding, the more often you visualize, manifest it, connect to it, listen to it, you're embedding that. You're spending more time on the possibility and the truth, and you're signaling your genes ahead of time. You're signaling the next path that you're going to take, the future you that you're moving towards more and more clearly. And you're not letting doubt in there because you're just feeding yourself. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so we've kind of already been past this one, so I'm going to skip from here. We've talked about having meaning attached to the money. It's very important that you don't just say, well, I'd just like to have more money because then I would feel happy, or I would like to have money in my bank account. It's not a bad goal, of course, but typically it's not emotionally charged enough for you to get into this process. Once you start doing this, you're going to get in a flow with your team and you're going to understand more how to move forward. So get extremely excited or extremely stressed. I want you to fan the flames of that right now and think about why you want this. So I'm going to guide you next, and I'm going to take you into your light body and connect you to find what's really stopping you. So why do you want it? Tune into that. Okay, I want you to increase your desire for it like a dial. You're going to be turning it up. Why do you want that money? What will it do for you? How will it make you feel? What will it make possible for you? What will it do in the future if you do this, if you go to Paris or if you come on this dolphin retreat? I can tell you that my retreats, people come and they all leave and they're blown away. And they're like, that was worth every penny, every minute. I'm so glad I did it. Changed everything in my life. Going to Paris could do the same thing for you, okay, for whatever your goal is. So how will it bring you peace? How will it bring you closer to your higher self? How will it align you more with your true goals? How will it bring you self-love? All kinds of things like that. All right, then you're going to see it in your mind. You're going to see yourself doing whatever it is, and you're going to feel it, and then you're going to see how it will affect everything you do. And then you're going to start to free flow right. That means you're going to just be an open container for ideas. And tell me. So you're going to tell your mind, show me more. Then what will happen? Then I'll feel like this. Then that will happen. You're going to go back and forth. Oh, well, I'd feel like that. Oh my gosh, what if I did get the money and I put the $500 down for the retreat? Oh my God, I'm going to freak out. Because what if I lose that money? It's non-refundable. And then I can't do this. And then what if I do that? And then I made a mistake. Well, here's the reason why I'm telling you to anchor things into the physical. And one of those almost always has to be some form of money. You know, go buy your website if you want to open a business. Okay, it's $10 or I don't know, whatever you pay for your URL or whatever. But you have to do that because again, all of the inner part of you is holding me. Is she really serious? Should we really flood her with ideas on how this is possible, or is she just saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do it"? Okay. You're going to have the dial, okay? And you're going to increase the desire and passion for 10 times, 10 times, 10 times, and feel the flames light your desire, light your heart and your desire on fire. You're going to become a beacon of light. And this is what I want. Even if it's a beacon of light just burning from all the fear. I just don't want the fear anymore. I'm going to stand here inside of the fire and on flames, and I'm going to wait until it all burns away, and then I will see the clear way. So I want you to say, I'm absolutely worthy of it, and I want it, and I have reasons, and this is what I'm meant to do, okay? These are all things. So what are more reasons? You're going to feel it. You're going to increase your confidence. You're going to sense it. And then all those things we've discussed, those ghosts and those illusions that have stopped you, you're going to just let them stay just outside of reach while you let your higher self feed you ideas. Now, remember, the voice of doubt's going to be in there, the voice of I can't, the fear of everything. That's the way the world works. Everything has an opposite. It's equal and it's present at the same time. It's in the same place. It's in the same space. Your money and your lack of money are in the same place. They're two sides of the same thing. They're both money. They're just, oh, dial it up, lots of money. Dial it down, not enough money. If it's a thermostat, dial it up and it's hot. Dial it down and it's cold. It's the same thing. Hot and cold are the same thing. They're only different in degrees. These are universal laws, okay? So the positive and empowering voices, the visions, the strengths, the clarity, the love, the passion, the dedication, the commitment, the decision, it's all right here next to the doubt, the fear, and all the rest of that lack. So you see and you feel deep within your soul, and that passion is going to be lit on fire again. And I will manifest this. I know there's a way. There's multiple ways. There's millions of ways. And I only need a few because I will do whatever it takes to make this happen for me that's aligned to my highest good and optimal for me at this time. That's how committed I am. And I know now that I'm going to bring my mind back to the truth, away from the doubts and the fears, and out of the dark forest and into the bright, shiny light of this law. So if there's a problem, if there's a need, there's a solution. The same way that there's hot and cold are two sides of the same thing, and lack and abundance are two sides of the same things, a problem has to have a solution. And there's many more than one, okay? So a problem is birthed within you from a desire. I want to do this, and the problem is I'm afraid to, or I don't know how to, or I don't know where the money is or the time is for it. Then that means there's a solution. Okay? If you need money to do something that's truly on your path, then there's a way. The way, the solution, all of that stuff, it's right here. It has to be. It's a law. So you tune your mind into it and you say, yes, what's really all around me is the field of abundance. Infinite amounts of creative energy, of source energy, of energy that everything is made of. Money comes from source and the infinite field through people, jobs, products, value, service, and ideas. And sometimes you do not need the money. You can just have the thing. So here's a mindset we're going to install. But first, I want to go back and do our process now. Okay? So I'm going to escape here. And I'm going to check on y'all. See how you're doing. Make sure we're still connected. I can't see anything when I'm in the slides. Good. Okay. How's everybody doing? Wow. AirTag wants to find the money to develop a farm, an indigenous village, and a campsite. Oh, paints, canvases, painting, tools to develop my inner artist. Excellent. Erica. Reviewing the picture after the retreat. Yeah. And Brittany said, I can't get to the dreaming part because I can't get past the responsibilities of obligations I'm faced with or else I need money for. Exactly. And the reality is, again, I'm not telling you to say, oh, I'm not going to pay my rent. I'm not going to feed my children. I'm just going to go do what I want. There is a way, though. And so the beautiful thing now is, Brittany, you've been able to see this. Oh, okay. So one of the big things that has prevented me in the past is that these obligations are sitting here and they're saying there's only enough for that. And I have to be a responsible mom and I have to be whatever, all these other roles. And that's okay to be a responsible person, but you're not living a life for someone else. You're not living a life of somebody else's making. You're in there too. Right? So that's the beautiful gift you've already gotten there. Sherry said, I feel you, Brittany. I'm going to be a single mother. Oh, yeah, lots of responsibility money. I know, I've been there. I went into becoming a single parent while going into bankruptcy and losing everything. It was epic. Not saying you have to do that, but I'll tell you, I feel more free now because then my mother disowned me. So I had literally my soul decided, let's just get rid of everything. Okay, everything. Any backup, any sense of security, any sense of love, just get rid of it all. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, and I can tell you I had an incredible breakthrough. I was rarely had money in my account and maybe a few dollars up, and then it was always negative, and I would look at my bank account and my stomach would drop, and it was just all this fear, and it was nonstop. So I was working with the things that I teach, and I was working with it every day in the middle of getting served papers and lawsuits and everything else. And I was in the middle. I have to not let the fear control me. I can't let it just pull the rug out from under me and suck me dry. And one day I went in, I needed about 3, 4, 10,000. I don't know. It was quite a bit of money the next week. And I had negative $30 or something like that. I don't know. I opened the bank account and I said, I did a sacred thing and I activated myself and I said, I'm going to open the bank account and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see how I react, because every time I did, I would deflate. And I opened it, looked at it. Over here, my mind's going, I got all these obligations. Over here, my mind was going, oh my God, there's no money. And then before I knew it, it was weird because I didn't remember standing up. I didn't remember closing the computer. I didn't remember walking into my bedroom and walking out onto the balcony. But the next thing I became aware of was I was standing on my balcony looking over the lake, and I said, I suddenly saw myself and I observed myself like I was here. And I didn't feel sick to my stomach. I didn't go down that path of, oh no, oh, this and that and that. I went over here and my mind was already over here looking for solutions. That's how powerful this process is as you get used to doing it. Instead of going down the path of fear or the block, well, I have obligations. Yes, I do. Okay, so if I have these obligations, there's lots of ways for me to provide for it and for me to be provided for. Okay, and so that was such a profound moment because I was just do. My mind was in a whole other place. There it is. 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 No, there it is. There it is. There it is. And I'll tell you something really funny. The same balcony I wanted to hire a coach so bad. And then I finally was like, okay, I'm just going to get on the phone. And I got on the phone with the coach's assistant. And she's like, oh, yeah, you really need this. And it was $15,000 for like 4 hours with this man, something like that. And she said, well, you could pay $3,000 now and you could pay $3,000 in 2 weeks, but you have 5 weeks to manifest it. And then you got to fly here. So I had to come up with airfare, everything. Well, I might as well just, manifest a unicorn because I don't know how I'm going to do that. So she said, put on a retreat, put on an event. I said, are you listening to me? I don't have any money. How do I put on a retreat? I have to put a deposit down on a hotel and I got to do this and this and this. And she just went, I don't know. I guess you better figure it out. So I went home and I went and stood on that balcony. I can't, I don't, I want, went through all of that stuff. And then I turned my head and I was looking up the hill. I lived in a townhome in this gorgeous community that had a huge clubhouse. It looked like a big Mediterranean villa. And it had a media room with a movie screen and seats. It had a beautiful kitchen. It even had a conference rooms. And I could use it all for free. There was a limit, so I think it ended up costing me $60 to rent it for 3 days. I had the whole movie theater, and I got to use the kitchen and for lunches, and we were in this beautiful place looking out over a lake. I was stunned, literally just stunned, when I was like, I knew that, but I don't, I know, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed, what if I do this and nobody comes, and all this other shit was preventing me from seeing something that was right there in front of my face. Okay, so this is what's going to happen to you, right? I yearn to truly alive. I yearn to feel truly alive again, like really alive. Sending love. Ladies, always been a single mom here with no people support. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? There's, for all of us moms out there, single moms and mothers that are expected to do everything because the partner maybe won't help, which unfortunately is kind of common. This is not how you have to live. So you can do this again around resources, remember? Not just money. Single mom for 6 years. Oh, look at all you beautiful people. But remarried for 7.5, going through divorce again. Things have been lining up with divine timing and do feel universally supported. Very, very good. So in recalibration, this is juicy stuff. Seriously shifting in knowledge. Elizabeth says, after all the talk of the retreat, I want to go. Yay, let's all do it. Oh my gosh. The dolphins came today out there on the beach. They filled my room yesterday. This woman said, why aren't you giving out the information? And I'm like, well, we did. We just put the page up and said, email us and we'll send it to you. But no, the page wasn't live. It's so funny. So I was just like, I woke up and that was the first thing. And I had a bunch of other stuff on my agenda yesterday. And I went, and the dolphins came in this room right here, just filled the space. And I just and it poured through me. And we were there. And I started to see it. And I could kiss Picasso. And I could feel Yogo. And Shadia was there with me. And these are all the dolphins I used to do healing with over there. It was so stunningly beautiful. So stunningly beautiful. So, never ever had a large amount of money in my life. I'm 46 and I'm at a time when I would actually like to have it just to create the life I really want. Exhausting. Manifesting a unicorn. I know, right? I can tell you I have clients who see unicorns. I'm so jealous. So now what happens is that we have the ability to say, oh yeah, I have that idea and I've had this. So I just want to let you lovely ladies and men, if you're out there, no, I just turned, gosh, did I turn 62 or 63? I don't know. And I don't have those things that I spent a lifetime building. I had artwork, I had investment, I had savings, I had homes, I owned 80 properties. I thought, I'm set for life. I'll pay them off and I'll just have all this and I'll give it to my kids and everything will be great. All went away. All went away. So here I am, 60-something. I can't retire like most people do, and I really don't want to because I love what I do. However, that fear can feel very real. Or, I've never really had a lot of money. And that's why I want you to realize you don't have to have the money. but you can always find the path towards what's optimal for you. Okay? So I can't swim, but I want to swim with the dolphins. Oh, honey, I'll tell you what, Josie. A lady came to my retreat, 2 of them in a row, and she contacted me first and she said, I'm afraid of water. I'm afraid of heights. And I went, and you want to come on this retreat? Because, we climb a pyramid. It's not dangerous, but it's high. And we go into the ocean water with the dolphins, and we go into the sacred cenotes, which are, pure water. Oh my gosh, in the ground, in the womb of the earth, and we do the sound healing. And she did it, and the people in the retreat all came around her, and she was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And we have vests, the floaty vests, okay? So you have the floaty vests with the dolphins, and you have the floaty vests if you want them in the cenote, so you're fine. And yet, she was still afraid, even getting in. And she became best friends with this wonderful guy, John, who came to every one of my retreats. And at the next retreat, they even roomed together. They were such good friends. And she went step by step because that call of her soul to be there was too profound for those perceived obstacles to stop her. And she came back again the next time. It was beautiful to see. So there's always a way. The price doesn't trigger me, even though our credit cards are maxed out. $30K for my husband and I both opening businesses this year. Businesses, yeah, I know. But I feel like I should use any money to get that debt paid down. Well, debt is a big thing, okay? Debt is the part that is a confusing thing. We perceive it as fear, or as bad, and it can create shame. And yes, it's a big conversation, but let's just say that go deeper behind anything you want that says I shouldn't go into debt for it. And if it is optimal for you not to go into any more debt for it, you'll know. But don't let the fear decide. When you make a decision, you have to go within and you have to go, what would it feel like if I did? What would it feel like if I didn't? What would it feel like if I did? What would I feel like if I didn't? What's underneath that? What's underneath this? So during my bankruptcy, I was trying to build my business online, and thankfully my soulmate was made websites and was a techie, and still now just got us online today. And so he built me a website, and then I started realizing, I need clients, and I need to go to these events, but they're all in California, and I flying there from Austin where I lived, and paying for hotels and all of this stuff. It was hugely expensive. So I started to go, and there were many times I was there that I literally knew if I didn't get a client while I was there, I wasn't going to be able to fly back, or I wasn't going to be able to pay the rent when I got back. And I stayed in that faith. And like I've said before, clients just on the bus from the hotel or from the airport or at a luncheon or through the retreat in some way. And I wasn't running around going, hire me, hire me, hire me, hire me at all. I was just, when I get in a conversation, I might share something or tell somebody or give them a tip. And somebody would say, wow, I want to know what you do. And that would be fabulous. And I'm trying to do this. And that's the way it works, especially with clients. There were so many times I did that. And then we finally decided to move to California, which I really wanted to do. However, there was a thing with my ex, so that had to be solved. However, when I decided to move there, the reason was I'm spending so much money flying there and staying at places, often staying with people. That's another whole story. I manifested when we moved there, people offering me to stay at their house. And I only had to pay for a hotel like 2 nights out of 5 weeks. And I don't like that. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, hey, can I stay with you? I like to be independent. I like to be just like, hey, I'm going back to my hotel, doing my own thing. I didn't even like sharing a room. And the universe took care of me in the most amazing ways. I found friends. I got to try different neighborhoods because I was trying to live there. So it's what I wanted to do is know different neighborhoods and everything. So when I think about personal credit card debt, it feels like I'll never be able to pay it back. It's a hopeless dread feeling. Exactly. So these are the things you want to discover, because the debt's going to be standing there saying, No, like a big stop sign. And it's not even going to let you start to go into flow. All right. And it might be one of those things like this process is basically you're going to just brain dump. And I know that I've done this in some other classes. We just did this in the future, co-create with your future you class. And people were like, holy cow, I couldn't believe all the beliefs that came up. And yet what you really want to do is not edit it. Okay. So as we move into this, I want you to be like, and Brittany knows, she's one of my fabulous students. You accept that dread. You say, ooh, dread. Okay. Hey, baby, come on over. Tell me all about it. Tell me your story. Tell me my story. Tell me why you have that dread. Let's hear it. Because the longer that you suppress it and you try to function with that dread hanging over your head or that debt hanging over your head or that sense that you're buried and you can't get out or that you're never going to be able to do anything else because you've started your business or whatever it is, that is just blocking everything, right? If you've just started a business like Elizabeth and you're going, okay, now we need clients or, we need places to sell our services or our products. And you're, oh my God, what if I don't get enough people because I have to pay this debt back? Then it's blocking your beautiful business from blooming too. All right. So your phone died. So, yeah, that's funny. That's phone. So what you're going to do is you're going to write at the top of so you probably want a fresh page, right? And you're going to write the amount of money and maybe your biggest why, number one why right now, okay? And wow, I'm not against you paying your debt off. I did that. I mean, I declared bankruptcy, but then I had a lot of other stuff. And I paid this one beautiful pet sitter that took care of my gorgeous cat, Greta, who died while I was in Paris. And she took her home and then she saved her for me. And it was just, and I didn't even have, I don't know what I owed her, a few $100s. And so I paid her $10 a month for I don't know how long because I wanted to honor that and I valued what she did for me. And I apologized to her. I said, I'm so sorry, but this is a situation I'm in right now. And don't worry, I'm going to get it to you, So why? Your number one why. And it shouldn't be to pay off debt. I'd rather have you manifest something else. It's up to you, okay? There's so much we can do with this, and we've already gone, about almost 2 hours. So I want to get to the process now. So prepare by just writing down the dollar amount and your number one why at the top of a page. So the brain dump, the free flow writing is going to be weird. You're going to have things like, honest to God, these are true, okay? Because this is a process I used to give to a lot of my clients who wanted to hire me, and I had very high prices for my business coaching and stuff back then. I don't charge anywhere what I used to charge. And so... So I'd say, go do this process and then come back and tell me what came up. And so somebody said, well, the first thing I got was ask my mom. And hell, I'm not doing that. And the next thing that came through was sell myself on the corner. Well, what the fuck? I'm not doing that. And then, it was like, silly stuff, okay? Could be like, well, sell my extra washing machine or, do paintings for whatever. I don't care. Don't think about it. The key is don't let your logical and analytical mind get in the way because you're going to just, okay? And then you're going to go to sleep. And then you're going to come back and you're going to look at it. All right. So what I would do with my clients is then we would go, she would say, I'm not going to ask my mom. I say, okay. And I'm not going to sell myself on the corner. Okay. And I'm not going to do this. Okay. I'm not going to do that. And then it was like, I don't even know how to do this one. And this one looks like it's going to take a long time. Right. Okay. So not everything that comes through is going to be even remotely realistic or ideal. However, that's what we're doing. Okay. We're going in and we're saying, poke, 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 poke. I want the silliness to come out. I want the stupidness to come out. I want the fear to come out because it'd be like, rob a bank. That was another one somebody else came up. Well, I came up with rob a bank, but you said write everything down and I'm not going to rob a bank. And I'm like, good, please don't. Okay. So I do want to tell you one more story before we go into this. This was quite profound. So the lady who came, that the first idea that came to her was ask my mom. And when she's telling me, she unequivocally said, I'm not doing that, no way. And I said, okay, we'll put it on the side. I could already see her field energetically that was optimal for her, but I just went, okay, let's put it aside. We went through the whole list. We crossed off a lot of stuff. We looked at a few things. We discussed some of the logistics. And then I took her back to the first one. And I said, tell me more about why you won't ask your mother. And she said, oh my gosh, I already feel so guilty. She's had to help me a couple of times in my life, and I haven't been able to pay her back. And I just carry this guilt all the time. And I don't even really like to talk to her because I just feel so bad about it. And, she's never said anything, but I carry this guilt with me. And I said, then you have to go talk to your mother. But whether you talk to your mother about, hey, could you lend me this money or could I borrow this money? There's something you've got to talk to your mother about, and it's probably how you feel, because you're carrying guilt around your mother helping you, and she's not telling you. And sure enough, epic healing happened for her, and she dumped all this guilt she was carrying that was preventing her again from taking steps out because she felt like she had the debt that she didn't have to repay. All right. And guess what happened? She went and talked to her mother. I don't remember exactly how she approached her, but she said, Mom, I really feel so guilty about you having to help me being an adult and having these failures and all that stuff. And I just want to tell you thank you, but I'm really sorry. And her mother was absolutely shocked. She's like, what? Why are you feeling like that? I'm so happy I could help you. I'm thrilled I could help you. Everybody has ups and downs in life, honey. Please don't feel that way. And she got to release her guilt by permission from the person she was feeling guilty about. So whether or not she got money from that person, there was some healing there for her. So all kinds of stuff will come through. You can repeat the process for different things, for the same thing multiple times, because as you can see, as we're talking, as we're doing this, a lot of stuff is coming up that you're becoming aware of. Now, it can be very easy to leave this kind of a thing and let it get you down. I'm never going to get out from under my debt. I'm never going to get paid enough. I'm never going to get a job that, whatever, okay? This is where you want to accept that feeling, because then it moves through you and out of you, okay? The ocean is my healer too, Elizabeth. I have had dreams of living on a water planet resonate with mermaids. Me too. I feel convinced that at least one of my lives was on a water planet. My mother that raised me, I'm adopted, my mother that raised me never learned to swim, and her mother threatened to throw her down the well. She grew up on a farm, so she's terrified of water, and I love water. The minute that I could, if I saw water, I jumped in it, and they used to call me a fish. You're just a fish. You're just a fish. And I live on the beach now, which is absolutely the be-all, end-all for me. I don't want to be anywhere else. I love traveling. I love going other places. The mountain's beautiful, but the beach is the place for me. And even during my divorce, that was why I wanted to go to the beach. And after I got the free trips to the beach, I did manage to rent a condo 3 months at the beach in the winter. So the rates were very cheap in Port Aransas, Gulf of Mexico, Texas. And it was the key to my healing in the divorce. I don't know how I would have got through it without it. So if it's healing for your soul, there's a way to find it. Okay, my loves, let's go ahead and dive in now. Oh, I was like, where are my dolphins? I moved them over here. Oh, this is a little thing I got a while back, and I haven't framed it yet. I have some wood dolphins, sculpted dolphins downstairs. I make sure we have them. And my casita downstairs is, I call it the dolphin house. It's got tile in the kitchen with little dolphins. So, okay. So you have your paper, and you're going to go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Bringing it through your nose. Bathe your third eye, your forehead, your brain, your crown. Hold it right on your crown. Let it go. Cleanse, clear, relax, release. Moving through the body, through the cells. Down, down through the feet chakra. And let it go into your earth star. I'm ready and willing and open and receptive to enter this sacred space in reverence, presence, and love. I acknowledge this sacred healing chamber, and I ask that I have a clear connection now with my higher self, with my body elemental, with Gaia, with my I Am presence, with my intuitive team, my soul blueprint, my Akashic records, and the infinite field. Now breathe in and infuse what you've just said into that breath and blow it out hard. Relax and watch it taking that message into the cells, into the mind, into the chakras, out through the emotional field. I announce who I am. I am that I am. I am light. I am love. I am infinite. I enter this sacred space, a clear and open channel for my highest good and what is optimal for me at this time. And I present this to this beautiful, multidimensional me. I am here ready and willing to find the money, the resources, the path, and the way to this future if it is optimal for my highest good at this time. Now I want you to think about what you want. Think of the dollar amount, and then think of the thing, and think of the why. Now, I want you to begin to feel the energy around you. Allow your awareness to go to the skin. You can feel the air, the energy in the room touching. You feel that you are in this space, and you can sense the space. You feel it at your fingertips. Feel it moving through your mind and your brain. I am a clear and open channel to the currents of abundance, possibilities, and the waves of potential that exist all around me. I am already provided for. I am already equipped for this or something better. I am ready to be a clear and open channel, an excellent receiver, a conduit, a chalice, connected now to the infinite field. Connected now to Gaia. From above and below, I bring myself into this sacred center. Now feel your feet and feel your foot chakra on the balls of your feet. If they're on the ground, feel that energy extending through. If you have your feet up, you can do the same. Energetically through the floor, through the foundation, into the earth. Down into your Earth Star chakra. Down into Gaia. Past the crystal, the gold, and the silver, past the land, and the waters, and the oil, past all the riches that Gaia is filled with, down into her liquid heart center. I am divine soul spirit, and I know that my soul has a blueprint and that I'm fully funded and all that I require is here. And yet I am in this moment and I feel that I am ready for guidance. I'm ready to see, to sense, to know. I'm ready to bring into the reality of my 3D moment this abundance and riches that Gaia is made from, and I am made from her, and marry it with the spirit that can tune into any reality. And Gaia begins to send energy up to you. It is so rich. It is richer and thicker than oil. It is more shiny than gold. It is the value of all the possibilities to manifest. And it's coming now, and you feel it entering your foot chakra, entering and moving up through the ankles. What color is it? Is it dark and dense? Is it airy or liquid? You simply accept and allow as this rich, life-giving energy filled with resources and infinite abundance. It passes your knees and you can feel it going into the bones, the blood circulating, infusing the cells as it rises into your hips and enters the root. Begins to feel very warm. It's bringing warmth. Everything is speeding up. You feel lighter. You feel it clearing a path through the center channel, moving through the sacral, the solar, into the heart. Begins to go down the arms and fill every fingertip. Begin to feel like you're expanding. Almost like a big balloon, you are blowing up, you are expanding this rich manifesting energy, the gift of Gaia, to take your ideas and put them into form, is filling you, expanding you. It rises through the throat. You begin to pulse with a new rhythm and a new heartbeat. It expands up through the head, the nose, the eyes, the throat. It enters the brain and saturates it. It opens the inner eye, and the crown begins to spin. A vortex opens now in your crown, and this energy just keeps filling you, expanding you. You feel like everything's at your fingertips. There's so much richness here. You could touch it, taste it. Now you feel yourself entering your soul star. Your higher self has laid a beautiful feast, a festival, a welcoming party for you. Your higher self says, "This is a moment I have waited for. Please come and sit, and we will bring the energies through together." You feel your pineal, your antenna, your inner eye opening like the lotus, antennas connecting into your field of infinite abundance, into your soul's blueprint that holds your powers, your gift. You now are in this sacred space. You feel the solid, overflowing richness from Gaia. You feel the expansive light, open mind with your higher self. You touch your pen, keep your eyes closed. You hold the hand of your higher self. You feel it. You can hold it tight or light. She or he says, I am here. I've never left. You are an infinite being, and you are already provided for. You already have these things you want. Let's do it. Now, you also remind yourself why, what, how much. You can let your hand start writing without even knowing what it's doing, or just put your pen on the paper, start to move it around a little bit. I am a clear and open channel and an excellent receiver. Let the flow. Write non-stop until I bring you to the next step. keep going. I'm going to stay with you for about another 3, 4, 5 minutes to do this, and then you can keep going after we end. I've already told you what to do afterwards, but keep letting it flow. So if you're in the flow, let it keep coming out. As you start to feel like you're running out of things, I would like to see you come up with 30 ideas 40 ideas, maybe 50 ideas. Like I said, a lot of them won't be any good. I'm getting a lot of ideas that are going to need a follow-up for me to go research something or look something up. And that's fine. I can decide tomorrow. So you're not going to decide on any of these things tonight. You're just going to receive it into this container and let it stay there. So I'm just going to share with you, since we've been talking about the dolphin retreat, one of the things that you would do if you were like, this is what I want to manifest, is you go take a look at the page on the shop. And you go, look, oh, okay, here we go. Oh, I get $500 in bonuses. Cool, what are those? Well, you get a private session with me prior to the retreat. You get 2 dolphin meditations instantly, different, one's 60 minutes, I think one's 30 minutes, one's a recalibration, and one's a joy and bliss journey. We're going to have an Atlantean, Lemurian, Delphinus, Star Dolphin group channeling session sometime this month. And that, private call with me. After the retreat, we're going to have another group channeled healing with the dolphins, the Atlantean energy, and the other things. And as you look through here, you're going to see what's speaking to you, what triggers that excitement, what makes it. And you do this for whatever it is you're trying to manifest, okay? You go, oh, wow, look at that. And then you come and you say, oh, wow, we're going to go to a pyramid. Dolphins are expert frequency healers. Oh, and you start to make it real. I want to. Now, tomorrow I'm going to make live the page that has a lot of photographs. I had to shift because the last time I did this, there were other places that we went. However, here's a few pictures to share with you. And this is one of my most favorite. This is Picasso. This was the first time we started playing balls, and we get to play ball. Oh, they love to play ball now, but at first they weren't quite sure, so they would just swim by. So I started to do this. I started to push it with my head, and that was when they really started to engage. We do this where we do healing on each other. Here we are in a group play session with the dolphins coming and going, doing whatever they want. They love it when we hold hands and we swim like a pod, because then they come between us and they come next to us and they come right up to our faces and look at us. They think it's fantastic when we work together like a pod. We get to hug and kiss them. And this is the ocean, but it's not the ocean where the waves are. So if you're somebody who isn't really secure in your swimming, you can see that we have the vests on. It's required. And you can see the dolphins just doing what they want. They come up to you, they touch you, they send signals. It's just amazing. But it's very calm and it's very easy to be there. And they're just swimming around, bringing us the healing. It's a beautiful place. They feed us lunch. We get to play with the sea lions. We get to hug and kiss manatees and feed them. It's quite epic. This is Patty, the paraplegic that I used to do healing with every Friday. Whoops. So there is just a little taste for, that might not be your thing you're manifesting, but that gives you a taste of what you can do. So whatever it is you're manifesting, look at pictures and do all the other things we talked about. All right, my loves. Well, I loved spending this time with you. It was really amazing. Let me see what you have to say. Anything new? I have to jump off. No problem. Mommyhood is a wonderful thing. Manifesting 1,000 for myself and the kids to have a fun-filled summer and fall, making glorious memories to last a lifetime. Absolutely spectacular, Sherry. Absolutely love that. Now, what I would recommend is that you want to manifest the fun-filled summer and fall with glorious memories to last a lifetime with your children. And this money would be awesome to help it. But what you're really manifesting is that. So make sure that you're not waiting for the money before you have the fun and the joy. All right. Thanks, everybody. Namaste. Have a beautiful night. Share with me what comes up. I hope I see you in the Money Intuition class on Saturday, because we will take this to the whole other level. And please go back and remember. Let me finish with that. I think it's a good idea. So I'm going to just feed you this beautiful affirmation. If I can find on my slide. Go. Here we go. And you can close your eyes and you can feel it, and you can change these words. If wealthy doesn't work for you, you can use any other word, because wealth isn't just money. So it's a good time to redefine what wealth means. I am extremely wealthy because I live with my soulmate. I'm extremely wealthy because I have a wonderful, harmonious relationship with my children. I'm extremely wealthy because even at my age, with none of those resources and savings and investments and insurance and all that stuff that I thought I should have, I'm very healthy and I absolutely love what I do. I am wealthy and I have a wealthy mind. I have a wealthy mindset. My mind knows to find the opportunities that bring wealth to me through ease, joy, and love. I'm fully aware and present in the moment to embrace those opportunities, to see and know and feel those opportunities. I take a step forward, fully trusting and knowing that I am deserving. I am beautiful. And I have so much to offer. I am a wealthy being. I'm wealthy now and here. I claim my wealth. I state myself as a wealthy person of the universe. I am a wealthy citizen of a wealthy global community on a wealthy world in a wealthy universe. Wealth is everywhere. There's enough for everyone. Wealth is everywhere I look. There is more than enough wealth for everyone. My desire, my ability, and my willingness to open, claim, and receive my wealth now expands the ability for all others to do the same. I can help more people by being wealthy myself, embracing my own natural wealth vibration, and then by anything else I do. And I would say by claiming your worth and your worthiness. So I claim that now for myself and for everyone. I'm wealthy and I'm worthy. All right, my dears. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Let me know how I can serve you and support you. And thank you so much for being here right now. I know all you beautiful, lovely ladies taking care of your family and your children, you have a way to take care of yourself too. And don't feel like you're deprived. Understand you're in the flow and the richness is already here. Namaste. I think it's about time for me to end it, but I can't tell.